Welcome back to Cooking with Frenchy, cooking and baking made easy. Today's recipe is a classic of patisserie, the crème patissiere or pastry cream. Some other will call it the custard sauce. If it's a custard, it's a very thick custard. The crème patissiere has been in the pastry shop since centuries. It's a very popular filling, very popular crème or cream, and it's quite thick and heavy in the sense of it's cooked and thickened through starch. The crème patissiere is originally full of vanilla bean, vanilla flavor and texture. In this recipe I show you how to make your own crème patissiere like my grandma used to do, with full cream milk, beautiful vanilla bean, eggs, sugar and a little bit of flour, and of course to finish, butter, just to have that little unctuosity and texture that it's smooth and rich to the palate. So follow this recipe, follow my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe, also change your notification bell settings. As usual, under the video in the description you will find the link to this recipe, but also please comment, share it with your friend, and you will see you will love this pastry cream. I use it to fill up my little profiterole, my eclair. I can perfume it or flavor it with Grand Marnier, Kush, bourbon, any kind of alcohol and flavor. I can make it chocolate, and I will do that in other recipe. However, this one is going to be in some profiterole to make some beautiful croquembouche, another cakes, wedding cakes. I can't wait for you to show you one day. So hope you enjoyed the recipe, and like me, grab a spoon and grab the bowl and have a try. Look at that. So beautiful. See you next time. Cooking with Frenchy.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Cooking with Frenchy, cooking and baking made easy. First of all, for this pastry cream, crème patissiere, gather all your ingredients, weigh everything, and sieve your flour. Then here I'm using a really nice vanilla pod, a bit of unsalted butter, some full cream milk, eggs and sugar. So the first step, what I would do is to take a large saucepan, pour my milk into it, the entire milk, and I'm going to cut my vanilla bean or pod on the length way. So I'm using a small knife for it. Be careful to not cut yourself. And I will. This one is a dry one actually. I got it since about a year, and it's from Tahiti. Tahiti produce beautiful vanilla pod. So I'm cutting it halfway, and I'm going to scrape the inside of the bean in the pod and release all those little black dots that give so much flavor to our pastry cream. I'm putting all the pod inside the beans, and I'm bringing the milk and the vanilla to a boiling point. This is going to take about 5 minutes. So meanwhile, take a nice clean bowl, put all your eggs in it. So 8 whole eggs for 1 liter of milk and 4 egg yolks. I really recommend, if you never made it before, to try about quarter of a recipe first and see how you go with it. Just divide everything by 4. Once you have all your eggs, take your sugar and just put everything in the bowl. Give it a quick mix. It doesn't need to be coming pale. You just need to be all combined together, and it takes about 30 seconds, a minute. Once it's all combined together, keep an eye on your milk, and as you see, it's raising to boiling point, what we call simmering here. So I'm gonna shut down the heat and let it infuse for further 5 minutes. That will allow the vanilla to really infuse into the milk. So meanwhile, I'm putting my flour into my egg mixture, and I pour the flour just on the side of the bowl, and I'm mixing right in the middle. As I mix in the middle, the liquid just grabbing a little bit more flour, a little at the time, not too much, so I'm not having big lumps of flour falling into my mixture. I'm having just a little bit of flour at the time, which make my pastry cream mixture smooth, nice, and free of lumps. So here we are. My milk has infused, so I'm going to strain the vanilla pot, and my milk will go into the bowl, which I will mix everything together. And that I discard it. You can actually rinse them, dry them again, and put them in your sugar. So you have vanilla sugar in your little box or container. Gives a very nice flavor over time. So I'm just gently mixing, take about 10-15 seconds, and I'm placing everything back into my saucepan. So if I did burn my milk before, I will need to wash my saucepan or use another one. But because I didn't burn my milk, which is a good sign, I can put everything back in the saucepan, don't need to wash it, and I'm going to put that back on the stove. And I'm going to work it here at the very high heat. It's very important to work at high heat. Like this, it cooks faster. I mentioned earlier to do a quarter of the recipe, just in case you never done it. A liter of milk base for that cream. It's actually a very good workout for your wrist. So generally I work gently at first, and I keep whisking all the time. And I change the action of whisking, going to side and right at the bottom to make sure it doesn't stick. We don't want a cream that stick too much at the bottom and not the top of the saucepan. If you stick at the bottom and you don't do anything, it will burn. It will attach and burn. And that taste will transfer to the rest of the pastry cream. That's not the required desired. At about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, all of a sudden you will feel your pastry cream start to thicken quite hard. And here becomes the workout for your wrist. So you need to work it out until you can see bubble motion into it. As soon as you see that bubble motion into it, whisk another minute and the pastry cream is cooked. Once cooked, transfer it to another clean bowl, put all of it in there. And then add the butter. So what's different between my recipe and traditional recipe? First of all, I use mostly whole eggs and few egg yolks, and also the butter at the end. So that's where my great grandma gave me the best tip. The whole eggs gives more elasticity to the pastry cream, so it's not as thick or hard. So it's more palatable, there's more unctuosity through it. It's kind of melting. The butter, of course, as I said, there's no pleasure without butter. The butter is there to give you that nice silky touch texture on the palate, but also when you try to pipe it later, it makes it softer and it's shiny, it's easier, it's smoother. It's just one of the best things ever invented. So I can only thank Mr. François Massaglio in the 16th, 17th century to create that recipe and be able to reproduce it for you today. I have a special thought as I record this recipe for one of my mentors as a kid, for Mr. Michel Roux Senior, who unfortunately passed away, and I was very much inspired to become a pastry chef because of him. So I scrape the bowl, I will let it cool down and I'll put it in the fridge, cool it down, but look at that pastry cream and those black dots. For me, visual quality of a pastry cream should be napping, coating the spoon, and having those black dots. When I see those black dots, I know people have used primary produce, beautiful vanilla beans or pod. I must say I did prepare this pastry cream for a special event. I made profiterole and filled those profiterole, caramelized them with my pastry cream, and I did a croquant bouche. So maybe one day I'll show you how to do that. Bon appetit, thank you for watching.